until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Archive recording. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during this broadcast, code 336-831. If you encounter technical issues during this broadcast, please call the Wake Forest studio hotline number at 336-831-0819. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Wake Forest Sports Network.
Live from Miller's on Robin Hood, this is the Jake Dickert Show on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
By 1 foot, Connor Calvert wins it.
They never flinch. There's so much to talk about within this game, but they always believe they're going to find a way.
Your weekly all-access pass inside Demon Deacon football is brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons, and by a Legacy Federal Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of Wake Forest football. Send your question for Coach Dickert to our inbox, wakeradio@learfield.com.
It's incredible.
It is crazy, crazy, crazy. But we're here to talk Wake football for an hour. We'd like to do that with you. We've got some questions lined up. If you'd like to try to get in there as well, shoot us an email, wakeradio@learfield.com, or you can post on Twitter, and I'll get that too, @StanCottonWF. As always, we are at Miller's on Robin Hood. Got a good crowd again here on this Thursday night to talk Wake football. Coach, how we doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Just talking to everybody coming in. I mean, every once in a while, you got to pick yourself back up and you got to keep going. Yeah. And I think that's what the response of the team has been this week. And you'll talk to Devin Kalani, one of our captains. And, this is one of those leadership moments. We went down there to Florida State. I alluded to a little bit in the press conference on Monday. If anyone's a golfer, we just duffed the ball. And you got to play it where it lies. And right now it's right there with another big opportunity to be better. And I think the best part of our guys, they came with great energy this week. They showed up on Monday morning, ready to get after it. Our job, I believe, as coaches always stand is to be ultra consistent, right? So, if you go in the SMU week and you're just celebrating everything that we've ever done, SMU game to be the pinnacle of, with 2 rivalry games, a raked opponent, obviously a senior night at Delaware, yell and scream, people can be like, well, these coaches aren't consistent, right? So our job is to be ultra consistent to what we want to do, the messaging, and also the approach, and I thought that's what our guys have done really well. And I was telling Dev, because we both came from a place where, what is it today, November 5th, 6th, whatever it is today.
I don't even know what month it is hardly.
We had this morning we had a temperature of 65 degrees and the sun was shining at practice, right? And where we came from, it would be about 43 and rainy. So it's not all bad either, and we got a lot to play for with a bunch of guys that are really hungry.
So you have the tough road trip to Tallahassee, and that's always a tough place to play. Now you go to a place at Virginia where this is, and we'll get more into the details, but it's an old team, it's an experienced team, it's a team that's found a way to win these nail-biters all season long. Even the game they lost was by 4 points, and so and they'll be ready to go. It's a night game, big TV audience, and here you go again, back right into the hot pot.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about night games quite a bit on this show. To go back-to-back road night games, I mean, you get back at 3 in the morning both times, and you got to kind of reset the mechanism. And I'm excited for this environment. Obviously, when teams are playing well this time of year, people show up and heard a lot about their environment and their student section and the noise that they can create there. So excited about the challenges it presents, but also excited about the opportunity. to be in the moment with this team, I think is going to be pretty special on Saturday night. And we learned a lot about ourselves last week, even through failure, that needs to lead, to us being a little bit more resilient. But to your point, you got to beat this team. They have found a way in every game, and excellent. I mean, everyone saw Chris go down. He battled back and was out at practice, and excellent. I mean, everyone saw Chris go down. He battled back and was out at practice. So, there's some things that we felt that we came, pretty well out of the game, but there'll be some game time decisions of guys that we got to make sure. And heck, that's why the backup guys, that's why they've been training all year for this one opportunity, and our team's counting on them, so we don't miss a rhythm or beat.
That's why you have a 2 deep, 3 deep.
That's exactly right.
That's why you dress all those guys.
That's right. That's right. Travel 76. Yeah, they're not a bunch of steak eaters. Like we got to go use these guys.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Wake women playing right now, by the way, in basketball, up 10 at the half over Presbyterian. The men will play Morehead State tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 6:30. The tip at 7, and then on Saturday up the Seminole Trail is what it's called, up Route 29 into Charlottesville, Wake Forest, and Virginia. 7 o'clock kick. Hope to see you there. If not, we'll see you on the radio at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Stay where art meets atmosphere. That's Hotel Indigo and Sir Winston Wine Loft and Restaurant. They were designed for the creatively curious, bold spaces, local flavors, inspired stays. Devin Kalani, captain of the Deeks, is here. He will be here in a few minutes. Please don't be bashful. Go back, get an autograph.
And he's not bashful.
No.
So you don't be bashful.
If you saw his video online, he was raring to go, raring to be here. So we'll fire away at him and get to know one of the captains of the Deeks here in just a little bit. And we will do all of that after a timeout. So we will return with more on tonight's Jake Dickert Show from Miller's on Robin Hood right after you hear this.
Caller, what's your question for the coach?
Last week, I noticed Wake played better when I stood on one leg, faced the quad, and drank a glass of the finest Pepsi. So for this week's game, should I drink my Pepsi in the first quarter to bring the Deeks luck early or late so we finish strong? Coach, I'm hoping you'll say both, but I wanted to ask because when I drink Pepsi obviously impacts our games. Thanks, and go Deeks!
Pepsi, proud partners of Demon Deacons football and believers in lucky fans everywhere. Pepsi, made for football watching. Go Deeks!
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Go Deeks!
Into the clear, 10-5, and touchdown!
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
Wake in a hurry, fake handoff right, and scampering left by himself, untouched into the end zone, the quarterback.
Wake Forest football returns to a legacy stadium on Saturday, November 15th to battle it out with Big Four rival North Carolina. Limited tickets remain. Order yours today at godeeks.com/tickets. We'll see you at a legacy stadium on Saturday, November 15th as the Demon Deacons take on the Tar Heels. Go Deeks!
Claiborne, Wildcat, takes the snap, hands the ball left, a throw downfield pass caught by Claiborne at the 10, 5, touchdown, Wake Forest. What a play by the Deeks, razzle-dazzle into the north end zone.
Hey, Deke fans, Coach Jake Dickert here. Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Head to Miller's Sports Bar on Robin Hood, where the wings are hot, the beer is cold, and every seat has a view. Catch all the action, all the time, only at Miller's.
Welcome back to the Jake Dickert Show. Want your question answered by the coach? Our inbox is available at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet at StanCottonWF. Now back to your host, Stan Cotton.
Okay, we're off and running. First half hour, Jake Dickert Show on this Thursday night. It's Wake in Virginia coming up on Saturday night. Airtime 6 o'clock Eastern as the Deeks and the Cavaliers square off at 7. Time now for the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist game diagnosis, brought to you by the official healthcare partners of the Demon Deeks. All right, Wake and Florida State. Let's kind of recap that one. It was kind of a weird first quarter. Nobody scored. So here we are sitting on nothing. It's like, okay, it's going to be one of those nights. And then it started to unravel just a little bit.
Well, it was one of those deals where we possessed the ball a lot in the first half, and we moved it effectively but never efficiently enough to like get points and get in the situation, or a penalty brought us back, or Robbie does a good job of scrambling on a third down, and we get one of these like pull them off the pile 15-yard penalties that you don't see a lot, so that takes you out of field goal range. We just couldn't convert in some of those critical moments, and obviously the penalties hurt us, and we went into halftime, and I guess I didn't even realize it when he said it, was just like, Coach, this is the first time that you guys didn't have the lead. You
trailed, yeah.
And, your mind kind of went into like, okay, we'll respond to this, because it felt like besides 3 big plays, and they were third downs, we didn't, there was a 3rd and 1 that we gave up in the red zone that, we made some critical errors on, and then it was the 2 third down plays of, them hitting some big plays when we cut guys loose, and good teams are going to find those guys. And I think Nick Anderson said it really well in our captain's meeting today. This was the first team when we did have those errors that really capitalized on it, right? And against good teams, you can never, allow those things to happen, and I thought they did that. And then coming out of the half, get the big 4th down stop. All we talked about, okay, let's go get one stop. Let's go get this one stop, and let's get this momentum of the game going. And then obviously our best drive of the night, critical error, it hits Damon in the helmet. We lose a lot of momentum in the game, and then it was like sudden change touchdown, and then, it got out of hand. And, we did bring them up in the 4th quarter. Like, guys, hey, let's respond to this. We still have an opportunity to win the 4th, and they took some big shots there. We scored late in the game, but just, not enough consistency really in anything that we're doing. We're playing complementary football, and that's the result you're going to get against good teams.
How good do you think Florida State really is? I mean, they always have athletes, and they've been, I don't know, I don't think Coach Norvell's been able to kind of get them herded well enough this year for whatever reason, but maybe the game with Wake, they were just zeroed in for a couple of weeks, and they've turned the corner.
I think I'd be a hypocrite if I said that I didn't think it was a good team, but obviously they're beatable in certain capacities.
Sure.
So you saw the highs. I mean, they beat Alabama. Alabama's one of the best teams in the country. They looked unstoppable in that game. We were kind of going back and forth, and then when it rolls, it really rolls, right? They didn't take the shots in the game and down the field passes until they felt a comfortable lead.
Yeah, that was late.
It was what it was. I mean, we banked that. We remember those things, but it's just one of those deals where if you can go slug to slug with them, and you got to have them turn the ball over, and you got to be able to create momentum, and we just weren't able to do that. So I do think it's a good team. They're always wildly talented. So that's, but that's all ACC. You watch Virginia, and you start looking at I watched last year's game, that team to where they are now. They've invested quite heavily into being a better team, and it starts at the defensive line. Both Florida State and UVA, I think, are really good up front.
And so you return home again immediately after that game, and it's, we get asked this question a lot every year. As a coach, do you burn that tape, or do you take it, look at it, learn from it, move on? What's your assessment of when you have something like that? It just didn't go your way that day. Just one of those days. How do you treat that? Do you put it in a garbage can, or do you use it as best you can to move forward?
Stan, it's the old coach is saying, it's never as good as you think it is. It's never as bad as you think it is, right? And I think that's really important. And we talked about the consistency of it. Now we have to learn from it. You have to sit in it. You have to be a little bit ticked off about it. You have to let it spur your preparation as you go into the next week. And I think that's what our guys, did, right? So, once again, I said it in the Monday presser, and I'll say it again, this time last week or after that SMU game, you're as high as you possibly could be. A week later, you're as low as you possibly could be. So the emotions and handling the excitement and, unfortunately, some of the failures of this game is real, and how you respond to that, I think, is really, really important. So we got good people, we got great players, and underachieved this week. I think that's a hard thing always to say in coaching, but it happens. And like I said, we got a lot of great opportunities ahead.
Well, I know one group of folks that won't be feeling sorry for you. They reside in Charlottesville.
That's right.
They'll be ready to go.
Oh, yeah, everyone will be ready to go. And our guys will be ready to go. And, you bring a new and different team, and I think anytime you go into the, score comparison game, you get yourself beat. And that's not something that we did, but across the Florida State beat UVA. Well, Wazoo should have had UVA, but Oregon State beat Wazoo. It's like, come on. You got to make sure you're in the moment, you're staying in the moment, and you're playing your best football, which we've prepared to do against a really good team in a tough environment.
And again, Wake will be next opportunity at Virginia. It's a beautiful stadium. Weather's supposed to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, bright lights on national TV. Should be a lot of fun. That's a 7 o'clock kick. Again, we're on the radio at 6. Coming up a little bit later, Devin Kalani is here. He's back there by himself. Need somebody to go
Great
get a photo.
Great guy for pictures.
Go get a photo.
That's right.
And we'll talk to him in just a minute. Going to take a quick time out, maybe a question or two from you, and we'll talk a little bit about Kevin and maybe look at or Devin rather, and take a look at the Virginia offense and talk about some uniqueness about this Virginia team. It is unique in a couple of ways. All right, take a time out. We'll have more from Miller's on Robin Hood right after you hear this.
Hey Demon Deacon fans, are you ready to level up your tailgate? This season, Little Richard's Barbecue is teaming up with Wake Forest Athletics to bring the tailgate straight to you. You can now pre-order your tailgate meal, and Little Richard's will have it hot, fresh, and ready for pickup at a Legacy Stadium when you arrive. Elevate your game day and your taste buds with custom tailgate packages featuring all your Little Richard's favorites. Call or order online now at littlerichardsbarbecue.com. Go Deeks!
Hey, Deacon fans, this is Wake Forest running back DeMar Claiborne.
There's the snap and give to Claiborne. Pulls his way in. Touchdown, Wake.
When your car calls for an audible, don't get stuck on the sideline. Get back in the game with Roger Marion Automotive. Their team knows how to tackle tune-ups, state inspections, oil changes, and any other problems your car or truck throws your way. Go see Roger and Coleman on Louisville Clemens Road near West Forsyth High School. That's Roger Marion Automotive. Serve the Demon Deacons fans for over 25 years. Go Deeks.
The Deeks live here.
Got it. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
For up-to-date breaking news on the Deeks, there's no better source than GoDeeks.com, the official website of Wake Forest Athletics. GoDeeks.com provides detailed content of results of all Deacon sports teams, with innovative photos, live game and coaches show broadcasts, and in-depth interviews about the Deacons. GoDeeks.com is your complete online source for sports news when you just have to know. Visit GoDeeks.com and make it your homepage each time you log on to the internet. Go to the source. GoDeeks.com.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Listening to the Jake Dickert Show. Ask your question to the head coach of the Deeks right now. Email your questions to wakeradio@learfield.com. Now back to the voice of the Deeks, Stan Cotton.
Okay, we are back at Miller's on Robin Hood, rolling right along on this Thursday night. Devin Kalani will be here in a little bit. Coach, why don't you tell me, from your point of view, something about this guy that you brought all the way with you from Washington State. Here he is.
I think the best compliment I could say is that he was a captain for us at Washington State, and got to see a great evolution. His story goes all the way back because Coach Leach recruited him, I believe, and he went to be an early enrollee, and about 2 weeks later, the whole coaching staff was gone. And I came there as a defensive coordinator, had a great kind of learning process together. And he went through some hard times with some injuries. And I remember having a meeting with Dev, and he was like, Coach, you think I can do this? You think I can do it at this level? And I said, heck yeah, you can, man. We're not giving up on it. And he's one of the best leaders I've been around, one of the best people I've been around. And for him to earn captain at that place and then to come here in such a short order and be voted captain here, just says a lot. And he's a glue guy. Right? We call him glue guys, right? That just bring people together. He's got an infectious personality. Doesn't take himself too seriously. I think that's a good way of putting it. If you want to tell him to shave his beard a little bit, his mom's watching, I think that would be okay. But he's going to be a coach someday. He's going to be successful in what he wants to do, and just really appreciative of him trusting us. And he's been out there at media day, and he just didn't come for me. He was for all of us.